What name would you give yourself if you were allowed to choose?
I don't know. What a weird question.
Would you call yourself Lewis?
It's cool, isn't he? Hi everyone, my name is Lewis Allsopp.
And I'm Spencer Lodge, and welcome to The Close.
So today we are talking about Spencer's favourite subject in a nightclub. Do you know what that is?
Getting the DJ to play your own music. Tell him to turn it down and be quieter.
Rejection. What's your thoughts on rejections? How do you handle it? Obviously, there's a lot of girls you go and talk to in the club and they say no, no, no. How do you mentally prepare for that? What do you do?
Okay, so hold on a minute here, because considering the difference in our ages,
yes,
how the hell
we've been clubbing before?
But how the hell would you know about rejection in a nightclub?
I've
considering
been
you
so
use Tinder all the time.
Do you know what? I've never been on Tinder.
Have you not?
Never been on a dating app, but
Liar.
I have been
He's a
rejected
liar.
a lot of times through the years. You just got to go again, didn't you?
When I was young, we didn't have alternatives. All we had was the moonwalk across the dance floor.
Still do that now. Creepy uncle doing the moonwalk.
When I was 19.
No,
the moonwalk across the dance floor, the eye contact.
Yeah.
Okay.
The nod.
Hello, sweetheart.
Oi, oi.
Can I buy you a drink?
Chico tequila. A six geezer.
And then her ugly mate comes in.
You talking to me? The big boy comes over.
I used to get lots of no's. And there was a guy I knew called Keith Birkin years and years ago, and
Yep.
he used to call it gooing. He always leave the
Gooing?
nightclub really early. And I'm like, what's gooing, Keith? He said it's going ugly early. He said,
Oh, wow.
so find an ugly girl in the nightclub early on,
Yeah.
take her home, have your wicked way, and then come back to the nightclub and try again a bit later on.
Wow. Very aggressive technique, isn't
He was
it?
like in his mid-50s, and I was
Really?
like in my 20s when I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like that tactic. We'll keep going out there.
I go ugly later. My wife's watching this. This was before I was married, when I was a really young man.
We are actually talking about rejection in business.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, my
Yeah,
misunderstanding.
but you could talk all day about rejection.
So tell me can you remember in business,
Yep.
when you first experienced rejection?
I suppose in real estate you get rejected a lot, though, don't you? That's probably 80%
Yeah, but
of the...
as a youngster, when you
Yeah.
first started, there must have been an experience you had where someone said either, no, I'm not interested, I don't want to do business with you, and you must have felt what that emotion was like in that. It may not lasted for long, but you felt that emotion and thought,
Yeah,
like you felt you were going to
honestly-
get a sale and you didn't.
Schooling was my first real rejection, getting
Okay.
told that you're not coming to sixth form. That was my first real rejection, which genuinely you gutted about because your mates are going there. So it's not a nice feeling, I suppose.
Why didn't you go to sixth form?
I wasn't allowed in
Why?
because I was a clown. I was called the disruptor. I disrupted everyone. I got sent out.
What, you weren't allowed
I
into
was
sixth
not
form
allowed
because you were a clown?
Yeah, they honestly said, I applied and said, no, this is don't put your application forward because you're going to get rejected from it. I was like, wow. I was like, why? I said, because you disrupt everyone.
How did that feel?
I was quite proud that I got to that stage. That I was like, yes, I've done my... No, genuinely, it's not nice, is it? I mean, you get that rejection. Your first instinct is, wow, how do I go? What do I need to do? No one likes... It's like when you go to a nightclub, isn't it? And they go, no, you can't come in, there's a red rope. My first instinct is, oh, I want a table. Get this. You want to overcome that objection straight away, don't you, that you've got. So it's not a nice feel. I don't think anyone likes rejection, but I think the big thing is how you deal with it afterwards and what, if that drives you, that rejection.
So obviously it drove you.
Yeah.
But for lots of people, it doesn't.
Drove me to work. I had to work. That's all I could do. Drove me to the bus to town. That's all it
Drove
did.
everyone mad. So you got driven down. Okay, but when people, I mean, because a lot of people really suffer.
Yes.
A rejection isn't something that kind of bounces off their shield.
Yep.
It's something that people just kind of like take in through every pore in their body.
I agree.
And it affects them deeply.
Yeah, but I think, Spence, I think it's a generational thing as well. I honestly think that if you look at today's kids at like 18, 19, 20, how much rubbish do you read on the internet at the moment about people, about whether it's gender neutrality, whether it's about people not wearing the flag because it upsets people, the English flag. There's so many things at the moment where people, even down to, I think, football, they play football lessons at youngsters and they don't give scores because they don't want someone to win or lose. And I think in today's world, they sort of cover up the fact that you're going to take knocks. And I think for me, that sort of makes you who you are. You have to react to it. And you have to know what that feeling is. And even today, we pitch for developers to get exclusive developments. People still say no to me. It's part and parcel of what it is. But you need to understand what you've done wrong and how to get better at it. And if you can't do that, then you're never going to get better. You can't just go, "Oh, Spence, don't worry, it's fine. You're neutral. It's fine. You didn't lose. You're neutral."
This thing you just mentioned is a real bone of contention for me, because the fact that kids can play a sport and there's no scores because there's no winners and losers teaches them nothing about life.
I agree.
At all. And in life, as a lot of you will know, you have to experience rejection. You have to experience the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
So like you said, you know where to go from there.
Yeah.
And if you don't, how do you progress?
You just end up coasting. It's acceptable to, whether it's not get the job or, you put it into context. If that was real life and you don't turn into work, you don't get fired or you don't get a warning, it's like they just go, "Oh, don't worry about it. We're not going to do that." And that's the way the world I can see going. We can't fire him because, I think there's a new one about obese people saying they can come in half an hour earlier. I know it sounds really controversial, but they need to get at the time after the peak train times in the UK because they're too big to get on there. Now, obviously, I know it's a touchy subject, but again, it's the same thing. It's like, where do you sort of draw the line where someone just keeps pushing the boundaries? So things like gender neutralities, things like, I'm not giving my child a name because I'll let them decide their name. These things blow my mind. And that's the way that, going back to rejection, all these things just sort of mollycoddling people. And that's what handling rejection shouldn't do. It should make you stronger, better, and supposed to figure out who you are and what your weaknesses are.
Yeah. God, man, you just said so many things there. That really kind of irks me.
I've annoyed you, haven't I?
What? Yeah. You have annoyed me. What name would you give yourself if you were allowed to choose?
I don't know. What a weird question.
Would you call yourself Lewis?
It's cool, isn't he? What a weird question.
Depends if you're Lewis.
What would you call
yourself? You just
yourself?
spoke about parents giving their kids.
I'm not a 3-year-old child that can speak and want to name myself. Like Max Power or something. Some sort of cool, hard name. What would you call yourself?
He-Man.
Oh, wow.
Who knows? Okay, so... Yeah, I have issues with this, like big issues with this, because with my daughters, they're 16 and 18, and I don't want them to ever think, okay, that you get just because you ask.
Yes, agreed.
I want them to think that you get because you go and deliver. And whether that's getting into university or passing your O-levels, your A-levels, or GCSEs as they're now called. Taylor and Katie, Katie, well done for your exams, by the way. Top job, love. Or whether it's out there, going for job interviews. I mean, for goodness sake, you think about it. You go to school and college, and you're treated in a way where everyone's equal, for example, and then you go out for job interviews. Well, you'd only apply for one job, wouldn't you? Because you'd expect to get it.
That's what's happening a lot at the moment. So kids are going for a job and they're not getting it. And what I'm hearing is the most ridiculous thing. They'll say, the economy's in a state, I can't get a job, and they'll blame the government and everything else. But the reality is, if they wanted to go and get a job as a cleaner, a dustbinman, whatever it may be, there's jobs there. But the problem is that people, going back to how I think they're being brought up at the moment, and I've got a big thing with the schools and how, I said to you before about, I don't believe how schools are set up at the moment is not teaching kids about real life, which I said to you before. And I think this is part and parcel of that, is that you're right, kids do go for one and go no, and the blame culture is incredible. I'm not doing this because there's the economy's in a bad state. Instead of going, do you know what, I'm going to go and hand my CV out and walk around a town centre until I get a job that pays me whatever wage I can and build my way up. But too many people, there's such a sense of entitlement, going back to rejection at the moment, and that all comes from them thinking that maybe they are, equal to everyone else. But if you're at the bottom of the class, no, I was at the bottom of the class. I know my strength wasn't school. My strength is people, business, that's what I'm good at. But I don't know that unless I know what I'm bad at. So, the way it's all set up at the moment, I'm not a believer. So rejection is a mental state 100%, and you need to know about that.
My boss said to me when I was 17 or 18, he said to me, you're going to go and knock on 100 doors. And 99 people today are going to say no, or they're going to swear at you. So what I want you to do is to go and get those 99 no's. When you get those 99 no's, there'll be somebody that says yes. So I want you to be prepared for it. This is what I want you to go and do. Go and get 99 no's, and I promise you'll find a yes. So I went out, knocked on my first door. What happened? No. Second door? No. Third door? It was my 50th door, whatever it was, that somebody actually said, yeah, okay, I'm interested in talking.
Yeah.
Well, when I got that at 50 or whatever that number was, when I got that yes, I was like,
Feeling.
yes! Because I beat the 99.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, from that moment onwards, I went, well, hold on a minute. I've just increased my odds by 100% because 99 to 1 then became 50 to 1, which meant for 100 knocks, I would get 2 yeses as opposed to 1.
Yeah.
All of that taught me to go looking for no's, and so rejection then became fun for me. It became part of the game or the cycle, and because it became part of the cycle, it didn't do anything apart from bounce straight off me. It wasn't a force field I had. It was just a state of mind that I had, and that state of mind that I had was you need to find no's, and if you can teach people to go and look for no's, and you can condition people to understand that those no's aren't a reflection of you as a human being.
Yeah.
Okay? They're just somebody that's not interested in the service or the products or the proposition that you're making them.
Yeah.
Guess what? You can deal with a whole lot worse, and you can get on a whole lot better in life, because you know in business, I know in business, that you can't sell to everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? Also, we know in business that you can't win everything all of the time.
Of course.
And if you are conditioned to accept that that's how the journey works, then you're much better prepared for it.
People take it deep. That's the problem, is that you do. We joke before about referring to the nightlife and things like that, but there was a lad that I used to hang around with when I was younger, and it was 17 we're talking about, so it's not like serious life. I remember going to the club, and this lad, you'd look around, I don't know if you're younger, you did a competition how many girls you can kiss on a night out. He weren't the greatest looking lad ever, but he'd be kissing 10 girls a night, and he wouldn't see the 80 rejections he would get before that. And you'd be like, how do you do that? And you just go, the lad just doesn't accept no. He'll just keep going until someone says, go on, then we'll have a little dance. And that's part and parcel of what it is. I mean, I think when my dad talks about, obviously mum and dad are divorced now, but when he speaks to new staff sometimes, he'll talk about rejection, and he'll say one of the biggest things people need to understand is that Lewis would not be today, I wouldn't be here today if my dad didn't take the risk to go and say hello to my mum in the nightclub. That's the honest. That's the reality behind it. And he said to me, son, honestly, I went up to her, asked her for a dance, and the rest was history. Mm-hmm. But how many people, if you put that into sales terms, would be like, I ain't making that call. I know what's coming. And the reality is that if you make that call, something great might come out of it, like me.
But Gary Vaynerchuk says you've got your odds of being here on this planet are 4 trillion to 1. They're your odds of being on the planet. The fact that you're 4 trillion to 1 odds meant that you're here should be something that you celebrate, something that you appreciate, and something that makes you go and do something positive and constructive with your life. Yeah. So that 4 trillion to 1 odds, what does it tell you? At the end of the day,
put a bet on it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's like well, you talk about you being here because your mum and dad decided to go and talk to each other in a nightclub, and it's spot on. We just don't understand or take time to understand enough how lucky we are. The fact that you've got a job that you get people that say no to still means you've got a job. Okay,
of course,
and that's a positive thing. You can't look at that and say that's negative. You've got to say that's positive.
People forget that. I think that's the thing, is that they forget, either where they come from or, what they're doing. And like you said, fortunate to have a job. Not forget real estate, any job, and they moan about it. But there's people in a lot worse situations that would probably take that job. But yeah, rejection for me is, like you said, prepare for the no's, expect the yeses. That's the only way I can say it. There's a lad in our office called Harrison, and I said to him, go make 100 calls. So in a project they were trying to sell. He sits literally 10 foot in front of me, and it was the same thing, 30 calls, no, and then he went, yes, I booked an appointment, and then he booked an appointment straight after it as well. It's the same thing, it's what you put out there. If you put out, you get back.
Do you think if people aren't, this is something that I think companies might not take in as seriously as they could. If you've got someone, let's say you and I are two guys sitting in a call center or in an office selling stuff, and a rejection really affects me. Yeah. All right. So every time I get a no, it just beats me up a little bit more. How long is it going to take before it starts to impact on you?
End of the day. Not me personally. I'm invincible, but.
But typically, my negativity by being beaten down by that rejection is going to rub off on you at some stage soon.
Yeah, but it's like if you're dieting and you're not eating food, the minute you have that first burger or whatever it is on your cheat day, the taste is incredible. Whether, let's say, for instance, you want that car and you've worked a year for it, the minute that you get the keys to that car, the feeling is incredible. And I think the people need to understand that with rejection is that...
No, okay, well, I'm on another subject here.
Okay.
Do you think if you've got people that are experiencing rejection and taking it personally, that there's something as an employer you can do to train people to handle that better? And if there is it something that you guys employ, okay, or do you just try and look for people that rejection doesn't have an impact?
I've got an amazing training technique for that. Okay. Sit down next to them, get it right in their ear, and say, man the fuck up. That's my training technique for you. It is what it is.
What do you say to that? Get in there.
It's true though.
He said that. Sit down next to them. Get in their ear. And I thought he was going to say, now I want to try and understand where you are. Tell me about what your psychology is at the moment. Yeah. Man the fuck up.
It's true though. It's true though. You just need to. You have thick skin. It's what it is. How many people in any job, any industry, any part of the, you get rejected coming onto the palm mirror. The gate guy stops you and goes, "Who are you coming to see?" That's rejection until you overcome it. Spencer Lodge, I'm coming to see him. And then you in. I'm accepted. I feel good. I'm in. There's everywhere you go. There's an objection. Deal with it.
I think for a lot of people that's easier said than done.
I agree.
And I think for a lot of people they're trying to understand their own psychosis, trying to understand the impact that the rejection has on them, and trying to position it differently in their mind.
Too deep.
Okay.
So that's the weakness that people have sometimes, is that they overthink. You don't need to overthink, for whatever reason it may be. If it's a no, it's fine. It's not a problem. But how many people sit there and go, oh my God, it's been a no. What's the reason they've said it? And they'll sit there and worry about what's gone wrong or what they can do to improve, instead of just going, do you know what, we go again.
Yeah.
And that, if they can get that in their mindset, and I think that's it's part of the key to my happiness, to be honest with you. I know it sounds simple. Keep it simple. You don't need to overthink everything. The gossip and all the things that take place in the world, just keep it simple. This is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it. Whatever it may be.
I think also in sales, you've got to remember that there's a lot of people that when they get success, they have massive highs.
Yeah.
And that massive high is then replaced with what their perception is of a massive low.
I agree.
And in fact, necessarily a massive low. It's just that high is so high, that euphoria that they've got when they get the win, they get the yes, they get the sale, they get the deal, whatever you want to call it. Okay, they have to come back down from that space.
Yeah.
Okay, to normality anyway.
I agree.
Okay, once they're up there, so that they can go back up to that high again. What people do is they don't go, there's my high, this is my low. Okay, this is really this normal is where they get low again.
Yeah.
So understanding that part of the psychology and saying, that high was great, that win was great. How do we think about staying up there? How do we think about bouncing straight back up?
You won't appreciate it there. Simple as that, because you just think that's the norm. Listen, in business, even with Allsopp and Allsopp, if we don't have a good week or a good month, I get so annoyed. And I look at my figures and go, how do I get back there? And then we'll get back there, but oh my God, this feels good. How do we go again? So you've got to understand this part of life. No one's invincible. One thing that I've learned is when I was going to the gym, this is about 4 or 5 years ago, this guy was saying to me, his personal trainer, massive guy, he said, look around the room now. I said, are you happy with yourself? I said, no, of course I'm not. That's why I'm here. He said, one thing to remember in life, he said that no matter who you are, how rich you are, or what you do, let's use the gym as an example, you can look at the muscliest guy in the gym and he will not be happy with how he looks. Mm-hmm. You can be the richest guy in the house, you will not be happy with what money you've got. And so many people overthink so much instead of just dealing with what you're doing day to day, worrying about what you've got to do, and don't overthink. So many people overthink.
Do you think that goal planning can make a big difference to how people deal with their rejection?
100%. Yesterday was a perfect day. Yesterday I didn't goal plan. So I went into my office, and the reason for it, I got 5 directors off, and it's Joe Parker's fault for booking all the directors off at the same time. So
Joe, disappointing. So
I was doing sales managing, I was doing training, opening new offices, problem solving, put deals, all these things. I shouldn't be doing all this. But anyway, got to the end of the day and I was really unsatisfied with my day. I left the office and I was like, I haven't enjoyed today. Not because I wasn't busy, because I didn't know what I'd done. And there was no goals set in place. I haven't sat down and worked out what I'm doing and then reviewed it at the end of the day. So goal planning in life is massive, and work is massive. And it's like you say, you break it down into mini modules. And yeah, I didn't have a good day because my goals weren't set up. So yeah, it's massive for me. You?
I think that if I didn't have goals,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have a destination.
Agreed.
And if I don't have a destination, then I'm not heading anywhere. And that for me, for my psychology, that for me is critical.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to know where I'm going. So, whatever it is I'm doing, whether it's producing content, whether it's taking on new clients, whether it's organizing seminars, whatever it may be, I need to have a goal. Yeah. And when I've got that goal, I'm laser focused.
Yeah.
When I don't have that goal, it's like if I go on holiday for a week. My goal is to get through the holiday.
Make it through.
My goal is to get back to work.
Well, I get it. It's easy. I don't care what anyone says. And if you can have a lot of money or no money, it's easy to get lost. It's so easy. So people look at me or you sometimes and think, oh, these guys have got money or they're doing okay. And, it's that they're different to us. We're no different mentally to anyone else. We're not immortal. The difference is that we understand that what we need to do and how to do it, and we don't take it to heart. You meet some people that've got no money and they'll blame and they won't work hard and they won't set their plans. So everyone's on the same level playing field. No one's any different. Whatever car I drive or you drive, or whatever house we're in now, which is absolutely incredible, we still end up in the same bed at night. We still sleep the same way. You still go from A to B to the shops. The difference is that I'm happy because I've set my day up and I know at the end of the day, I can sit on my sofa and go, do you know what? Today's a good day. No matter how minuscule or large that is, and that can work for anyone.
Look, when you meet a guy at the weekend like I did that had to give $300 million away in a divorce settlement, then you got nothing to worry about.
Fine. Take it.
All right. Okay. So rejection. Just one last thing. Okay. This is what I do. It's what I was taught to do when I was 19. Okay. I've said it on some of my previous videos. If you're going to have rejection impacted upon you, and some of you out there do have that, these feelings in your mind, rejection really kind of gets to you and it upsets you and it bothers you. Remember, you have to find no's to get a yes. And like I was taught, 99 no's equal 1 yes. Maybe in your business, it's not 99. Maybe it's 2 no's for a yes. Maybe it's 10 no's for a yes. But remember, you've got to find the no's because the no's will give you a good measurement, as Lewis says, about how well you're doing, and it will help you develop yourself so that you can find more yeses. And remember, in business, it will always be an element of numbers game. In those numbers are going to be no's, they're going to be yeses as well. So go seek out those no's. Be grateful for what you've got. Be grateful that you're here. And remember that you're not necessarily personally being rejected. What's actually happening is someone's rejecting the proposal, the proposition, the product or the service that you're offering.
Or the chat up line.
Or the chat up line. And you know what? That's not such a bad thing. Hopefully this has been beneficial. You've learned from it. Let us know what your thoughts are on it. Let us know what you think about Lewis when he had a mate that would go out and kiss many girls. 10 girls in a nightclub kissing. How old was he? 17?
17, yeah. It was a famous club called the Colosseum.
That was 30 years ago in my life, 17.
So
no, 31 years ago.
What's it for me? So I'm 32, work the maths out. 15?
Work it out.
15?
Yeah.
Yeah, 15. That's scary, isn't it? But yeah, he had thick skin. Great at rejection.
Deal with rejection, okay? Or if you go and work for Lewis, then be prepared because he's going to get in your ear, cozy up next year, and he's going to tell you.
Slap you around the head. Man up.
We'll see you soon, folks. Whatever you do today, make sure that you make it happen.
Bye.